I would love to start out with a huge thanks and shout out to Community Kia in Bloomington, Indiana for allowing me to take their newest EV9 and review it. With the extraordinary popularity of the relatively new, it was introduced in 2019 for the 2020 model year, Kia Telluride 3-row SUV, and with the rising use of Kia's electric global modular platform, in a very quick 3 years we are now taking a look at Kia's newest 3-row SUV offering, the 2024 Kia EV9. The EV9 represents Kia's first ever fully electric 3-row SUV with an entirely new battery architecture, a large range of trim level offerings with both rear-wheel drive and front all-wheel drive, single and dual motor configurations, and regular and long-range battery configurations. Wind, land, and GT lines also feature a torque vectoring all-wheel drive system with all-wheel drive lock and snow drive modes for increased traction. The all-new EV9 is a ruggedly capable 3-row SUV seamlessly merged with strikingly crafted EV architectures. It features a spacious, refined interior with cutting-edge technology and serious hauling power. The EV9 is an all-electric SUV that proves it can be two things at once and remarkably good at both. Hey everyone, in today's detailed in-depth walk-around review, we are taking a look at this brand new and stunning top-of-the-line 2024 Kia EV9. Today's review subject is this ivory pearl color. It is absolutely gorgeous. The way the light bounces off that paint has high spots, low spots, and just covers all those character lines. Just absolutely a stunning paint job. It does have the gloss black exterior trim, and it does feature the light gray and black GT line specific leather interior. Being the top of the line, this is the dual motor GT, and it's also the E all-wheel drive long range edition. Its full pricing is shown on screen, and it is an expensive vehicle, and all the options are listed below, but I'll save you the time. It only has carpeted floor mats as the option. Today's review is going to be a detailed, in-depth review. We're going to cover everything from the exterior to the interior, powertrain, economy, and everything else in between. Now, this is my first time taking a look at the EV9, and I can say I'm actually very impressed. I'm actually impressed with all of Kia's vehicles, including their EVs. Our Kia EV9 features the dual motor configuration with equally powered AC synchronous electric motors mounted at the front and rear axles. This configuration allows for an E all-wheel drive setup and includes torque vectoring all-wheel drive with snow driving modes for added traction in inclement weather. These permanent magnet motors have a 283 kilowatt total output and feature a multi-charging 400 volt to 800 volt system with CCS1 charge ports that support 120 volts to 240 volt charging, as well as DC fast charge capabilities. These motors work in tandem and create a total combined output of 379 horsepower and a whopping tire-shredding 516 pound-feet of torque at 0 RPM no less. Car and Driver magazine tested their similarly equipped EV9 from 0 to 60 miles per hour in a quick 4.5 seconds. 0 to 100 miles per hour came in at 13 seconds, with a quarter mile hitting in at 13.3 seconds at 101 miles per hour. Those numbers would be pretty impressive even in a high-performance sports car, but nonetheless, this is an almost 6,000 pound 3-row family hauler. Top speed on this vehicle is governor limited to 126 miles per hour. The EV9 features a gross vehicle weight rating of 7,099 pounds with a curb weight of 5,839 pounds. It can haul a maximum payload capacity of 1,058 pounds and tow a maximum trailer weight of 5,000 pounds. Alright, there are a couple ways to open the charge port door. You can press this button here on the inside the driver's side instrument panel here, or you can actually press the door where the 3 ribs are. Because the EV9 uses no fuel, we will take a look at fuel economy equivalent figures. This EV9 features a 99.8 kilowatt-hour lithium-ion battery capacity and consumes 42 kilowatt-hours per 100 miles driven, with an estimated total driving range of around 270 miles. EPA fuel economy equivalent figures are 88 miles per gallon E in the city, 72 miles per gallon E on the highway, and a combined average of 80 miles per gallon E. Alright, so inside the EV9, we don't actually have a transmission, we just have a single-speed direct drive motion control unit, and it is actually represented by this large stalk coming out of the side of the steering column. Your start button is actually on here too, and it's in a very weird spot. So you start the vehicle by pressing this EV power button. It's not on the dashboard or anything like that, so it's in a really weird spot. Then you have the DNR and the Prindle right here, and then you have this large knob here that is it shows it how you twist it. And then of course on the side you have a button here marked park. So by placing the foot on the brake, you can go into reverse by twisting the lever down. And we go into reverse, does activate your reverse sound, your alert sound, and your backup camera. And real quick, the backup camera does feature active guidance lines and represents a dynamic guidance line on the top-down 360-degree view. And to put the vehicle into neutral, you just single flip it up. Now we're in neutral. And then to put it actually in drive, you just double twist it. You'll feel the detents. And now we're in drive. You can also do regen by flipping these paddles here. You can also select your different drive modes by pressing a button here. We've got Eco, Normal, Sport. You can program your own drive mode, snow mode, and your instrument cluster does change with every different kind of cluster you put in there. Putting the vehicle in park is just by pressing that button on the end, and it places the vehicle in park. Now as we walk around the rear, we're going to go over it in more detail, but just a quick look here. It has more of a Volvo look to it back here, like the XC90 or something like that. The old school Volvos had this broad shoulder line that came down like this, and then of course the light bars went up into the C-pillars. But we're going to take a look at these more detailed here in just a second. Alright, taking a detailed look at the rear end styling here. As you can see, as stated before, it does have that Volvo XC90 look to it. Just a very high-end look to it. And I love the broad shoulder lines. I'm not the biggest fan of this huge piece of metal that cuts up like this, but I do appreciate what they're trying to do. They're trying to create like this really nice little upflow that meets into the rear spoiler, which is actually huge. The rear spoiler covers over the entire window actually. Does have a large third brake light here. This is your rear view camera display here, and the rear wiper is actually concealed up in the that spoiler area. And you do also have the gloss black roof rails, and then coming down into the taillights, the actual LED tail light is a light pipe that has a reflector diffuser, and it continues from the top here, goes all the way down into the lift gate, and then all the way down here into the bottom portion of it. And then of course you also have side markers here, reverse lights, and you also have your turn indicators here that indicate or are represented in these clear facets that have a really nice texture to them. Coming into here, you actually have this really cubed look to it. It looks very good, almost concept car style. All right, enough of that. Let's go down to the rear bumper. The gloss black continues down here. You do have reflectors down here, rear parking assist or parking sensors back here, EV9 badge, and of course your license plate mounts low. And you also have your reverse camera. It's actually right here. That's for your rear view camera, and the GT line badge designation. All right, now let's walk along the profile of the vehicle. Now the vehicle does sit on a 7.8-inch ground clearance. All the on-screen dimensions are shown below. And it's actually a pretty large vehicle. It's actually a little bit larger than the Telluride. And it does represent Kia's first fully electric 3-row SUV. Steering is electrically assisted vehicle speed-sensitive variable rate rack and pinion with a rack-mounted motor and features 2.98 turns lock-to-lock and a short 20.3-foot turning radius. Wheels are the striking 21 by 9-inch gloss black dark silver alloys with an odd square design, fitting for the vehicle, and are shot on 285 45 R21 Hankook Ion Evo all-season EV sound absorber tires. Brakes are power-assisted 4-wheel disc brakes with ABS, electronic traction control, forward and rearward collision warning with cross-path detection and stop, with the 14.2-inch ventilator rotors up front and 13.6-inch ventilator rotors in the rear. These brakes can halt the EV9 from 70 miles per hour to 0 in 184 feet. All right, let's walk around the front, and just as we did with the rear, we're going to go cover the front in more detail, cover all the little detail points and everything. But as you can see around the front, it's a grille-less design. It does feature Kia's new tiger face instead of the tiger nose, but the actual tiger face. And yeah, it looks really good, especially the silver color. Alrighty, taking a look up front in detail. Taking a look at Kia's EV9 front end styling, and there's a lot to show here. It's really hard to see some of it in the bright daylight sunshine, which actually here in Indiana we haven't seen sun in quite some time, so really nice to get out in it. Anyway, I digress. All right, so the side view mirrors. The side view mirrors are actually really cool. They're not cool as far as a mirror is concerned, but what Kia, I keep calling it Kia. Anyway, Kia is doing. So first of all, gloss black A-pillar, matching gloss black side view mirrors, and they are mounted on the door as a post mirror. And they do have this really cool, I don't know how to describe it, but pinpoint lighting in here. It's like a solid piece of black, but it has like these laser holes cut into it. And it does have a white driving light put into it, but it also converts to amber for the side indicator. Blind spot cameras right here. The mirror's power fold. Now what I was saying is, Kia is also offering an option, and I'm not sure if it's in the States yet, but I know it's on the European version. You can actually get the electric side mirror camera system. It replaces the glass mirror, and on this post it mounts a camera system, and inside the car you actually get a screen on either side, and that is your rear view mirror. I'm not really sure how that's going to go, but it's neat to see the option. Okay, moving down, nice large aluminum scalloped hood. Very nice flat, it's actually a flat piece of sheet metal, but this really nice crease here just really flows really nicely into the gloss black headlamps. You do have this really nice large white light pipe that is your driving light, and it converts to amber for your front turn indicator. Side marker light, a bunch of cubes in here representing your LED headlamps. I do also have the high beams on too, so all the 12 cubes are illuminated right now, and you can kind of see the micro perforations in the front end treatment here, and it's basically like a really cool dynamic lighting effect here, and it kind of flows into the front where we'll go into next. It eventually will stop, but just a really neat DRL. The new Kia badge here, gloss black trim, front camera, front parking sensors. This vehicle does also have adaptive cruise control, and all different kinds of safety innovations. All right, before we get inside, let's take a quick look at the key fob, and it's actually a really nice sight to behold. It feels really good in the hand. It does have this really nice satin aluminum band that divides the key, and then on this side it has this really nice textured white matte finish, kind of like a granite feel or something like that. Over here we do have the Kia logo embossed in the back, and on this side here it is actually a different color because it's illuminated. So it actually will detect button presses and stuff like that, and it lights up. So let's go over the buttons real quick. We have lock, unlock, your liftgate release, and your panic alarm. On the other side, we have your remote start and remote conditioning for the EV system. Your parking assist here for tight spaces. You can pull your vehicle out or pull it in or whatever. You can move it forward or backwards. And then here we have our front trunk release. Now this vehicle does feature Kia's smart key access system by keeping the key fob in your purse or pocket. You can lock and unlock the vehicle, but also as you approach the vehicle, it'll actually detect the key and unlock. So the mirrors unfold, the handles slide out, and the vehicle is unlocked. But as stated before, by keeping the key fob in your purse or pocket, you can lock and unlock the vehicle doors, and that's very simple. Locating this little detent in the door handle, by pressing that, the vehicle will lock, the mirrors will fold, and everything is ship-shape. As you can see, the handles are actually flush with the body for better aerodynamics. To unlock the vehicle, simply press that button again. Mirrors unfold, the handles come out, and you're able to open the vehicle. And as we look inside, this is an all-new interior for Kia, all new materials, all new design, everything, and it is absolutely stunning. Very nice, high-quality materials, very nice attention to detail. Take a look at the door panels here. This is all the GT line. but we have nice soft touch vinyl on the doors. We have this really nice gloss, almost like a charcoal or carbon trim here, and it has this satin silver band here. This is actually all aluminum too. Door pulls, multifunction controls here for heated steering wheel, seat massage, heated seats, ventilated seats, and your 2-driver memory. We do have the premium Meridian sound system. And over here we have our power mirror control and mirror fold, lock and unlock, power windows, and window lockout. It does have this really nice little grab feature here, and then padded armrest with another door pull here. You do have this really cool mesh trim that comes into play, and it kind of divides the interior into the plastic on the bottom portion, map and bottle storage, the other Meridian speaker, the larger speaker here. And then coming into the driver's side instrument panel here. So if you had the side view mirror kit where it's actually the cameras, those screens would show up here. You have a really nice little vent here that's canted toward the driver. And then down here we have multifunction controls here. This is your charge door release, your front trunk release, lift gate release, stability control, instrument panel brightness and dim, electronic parking brake. We've also got a electronic tilt and telescoping steering wheel that is also programmable with the memory. EV9 branded floor mats, the only option in this vehicle. Satin aluminum tread panel here, dead pedal here with the grips. And our accelerator and brake pedal. You'll notice the plus and minus sign denoted on them. I guess that's a trend people are going with. I know Volkswagen's doing play and pause and stuff like that. As you can see down here on the floor, you have a nice large storage bin, and we have this cushion here on the seat, and I'll show you that here in just a second. Let's go over the seat controls. We have 8-way power driver adjustable seats and 8-way power adjustable driver or passenger seats. So this is your thigh support, or calf support really is what it is, but you can move that in or out. What is really odd is it has almost the same feel and placement as this button here, which actually controls fore and aft and up and down. But like if you're actually reaching for it blindly, sometimes you go for this instead and nothing happens except for it comes out. Anyway, seat back adjust, lumbar adjust here, 4-way adjustable lumbar support. And then this button here is the really cool button here. And pressing that actually activates the lounge seat. So by pressing that button, pressing and holding it, the seat moves forward. Seat back goes back, and your extension comes out here, the support. So what you get is if you're going out to your car for break at work or whatever, you can actually turn it into a lounge seat and take a nap. To reset it back, just press the forward position on this, and everything moves back pretty quickly too, actually. And we'll move the seat back so we can actually see them, because we are now going to take a look at the seats in detail. And being a GT line, they're a little bit different than the other trim levels, but they are very comfortable and very supportive. They have aggressive bolstering on them. They have this really weird mesh fabric, and you can actually like put your hand through this back portion here, but it's nice and vented. Kind of looks like an ergonomic office chair headrest, but I like the material on it. It has a GT line embossed in the seat back. Real nice vegan leather is what they're calling it, but aggressive bolstering, two-tone leather, perforations, really neat stitching pattern on here, ventilated heated seats, of course. So just a really nice driver and passenger front seat. All right, now that we're inside, let's take a look inside and go through some more details here. Electric assisted power steering, as stated before, on a nice thick rim steering wheel that's not exactly a perfect circle. It is flat topped and flat bottomed, and it's a 4-spoke design. It does have the a very small airbag cover here. More of that gloss granite or charcoal trim on the steering wheel. Looks really, really nice. So over on the left hand side, we have some controls. We have our speed control and lane keep assist, all that kind of stuff. It does have adaptive cruise, so you can set your distance. You can accelerate, decelerate, you can pause and resume, and this is your lane keep assist here. These two controls control your driver reconfigurable instrument cluster. So we have 3 different pages, and then you could do the click wheel and then kind of cycle through all the different menus, so economy and all that kind of stuff. And then You can make menu selections and reset and all that kind of stuff by pressing and holding that. We have our regen paddle shifts up here on the top. We have a plus button here and a minus button over here. And then over here on the left-hand side, we have multifunction stalk controls for automatic headlamps, high beams, turn signals, all that kind of stuff. Over on the left-hand side, let's go ahead and take a look at the stalks real quick. So we have our wiper washer controls for front and rear. And then over here, our buttons, we have our regen paddle here. These are our audio controls and our voice command controls. So you can do, you can mute the stereo, turn up and down the volume. You can also make menu selections, select the mode and your favorite there. And then down here on the bottom, we have drive mode select and four-wheel drive lock. All right, taking a look at the instrument panel, the actual cluster itself is one gigantic screen, or so it seems. One continuous flat plane of plastic spans the entire width from here all the way to past the middle of the dashboard. However, it does consist of actual 3 different screens. So the first screen we have here is the driver information control or center gauge cluster, and that's exactly what we're looking at. Speed, you also have it represented in the little bar graphs here. Distance to empty, your charge and power band for EV. This is your battery, and then all different kinds of stuff. So it shows a lot of different things. In the middle here, we have a small screen. It's basically like this. And this is our climate control. So we can set driver only, which is really nice. We can sync it. We can set the passenger side. Set your blend controls here. If you want to do that, recirculate fan speed here. Turn the AC on and all that kind of stuff. Or we could do rear by hitting the rear button. And we could do the exact same thing as we do the front. Blend controls here. Fan speed, temperature, all that kind of stuff. So it's really nice to have that kind of control right here at your fingertips. And then over here we have the infotainment system. So nice large touchscreen display. Does have Kia's new infotainment user interface basically. And we can actually slip through a bunch of different menus here. We can go to EV, and that will show like the next closest EV charging station, how far we can go, the percentage of battery, all that kind of stuff. And then we also have electricity use for what is divided up into what, drivetrain, electronics, climate, battery, all that kind of stuff. And it just shows just a really nice thing. Electricity use, EV range history, economy. You can also do like charging limits and all that kind of stuff, and your battery conditioning and all that kind of cool stuff there. Go back to home, and over here we have like, go back to home again. I'll show those here in a minute. So we also have phone projection for Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, Bluetooth controls, voice memo, weather, valet mode, setup. Setup just gives you a bunch of different change your heads up display and all that kind of stuff. And then vehicle diagnostics, maintenance, HD radio data, all that kind of stuff in your online manual. We also have navigation. So we have this row of buttons here, much kind of like what the Nissan Aria has. They don't actually, you don't touch them. You actually press it. It's a touch sensitive pad. You can feel the feedback in your hand. So that brings you home. Map will open up your GPS navigation. Search is just a search. Media is different media points. So AM, FM, Sirius XM satellite radio. Here's your favorites button here. You can change your favorite to do whatever you want it to do. And then your setup button brings you to the vehicle setup. And I showed it in the transmission, but placing the vehicle in reverse does activate your reverse camera. It does also feature a top-down 360-degree view. It does feature active guidance lines. You also have an exterior 360-degree view, which is really cool. You can actually turn it around, and it compiles all the images from all the cameras into a 3D space with the actual representation of the vehicle in it. Kind of gives you a really nice view of what is actually happening. And as we move, like I'm moving right now, and everything turns, like the wheels turn, the steering is actually accurate. And if you're really good at this, you can actually put it into a I bet you could put it into a parking spot just by using the the cameras without even looking at the road, really. So I'm just staring at the screen. I'm going everything on the screen. I don't advise that, actually. And then put the vehicle in park. Cameras are actually very high quality. And when you put the vehicle in park, it automatically sets your parking brake. All right, moving down, we have more rows of vents. This is your volume and power switch for the radio. This is your temperature controls and your fan speed and your mode controls on hard buttons. Four-way flashers. Down here, we have a USB Type-C. And what's really cool is you can actually do charge only or data and charge. And then over here, we just have a charge only USB Type-C. And we could do 12 volt, 180 watt power button here. Little power socket. It's pretty cool. And then this roll top here uncovers your cup holders. And they're for big cups, but if you press these little rings here, these actually open up and you can accommodate like cans or whatever. And you can just push them back into place. Just be careful not to break them. This is a fingerprint sensor. You can actually program your fingerprint for like Touch ID or whatever, and you can actually start the vehicle and do all that kind of stuff using your fingerprint. Auto hold, downhill assist, parking camera, and parking sensor power switch. This is a wireless charging mat. And inside the padded armrest, we do have a small amount of storage. So yeah, that is the front seat area of the Kia EV9. This will be a very long video. Taking a look overhead, we have an automatic dimming rearview mirror. And we have various buttons. So we have HomeLink universal garage door opener here. We have what looks like a dimmer switch, and that actually turns it into a camera. So it uses a rear camera in the back of the spoiler, and it gives you a real-time view of what you're looking at. And you can also set your brightness, your dim, and all that kind of stuff. By flipping that, it turns it back into glass. Overhead, we have our SOS phone. We have lights here, LED overhead reading lights, just touch sensitive buttons, Kia Connect, dome override, and our sunroof controls. The sun visors and the headliner are all this really nice Alcantara suede feel. They do have illumination on the vanity mirrors. And of course, the sun visors do swing out and slide out on extension rails, in addition to your height adjustable seat belts and your dampened overhead assist handles. Alrighty, this vehicle does have 3 rows of seats, so let's take a look at those first. Opening the door. And to gain access to the third row is very easy by pressing this button up here. This was shown in the Telluride and is carried over to all 3-row vehicles now. Just an automatic tip and slide rear third row entry system. And we have our third row seat. Third row is a 50-50 split folding bench seat that does recline, and it does allow space for only 2 passengers. But back here, the passengers are treated very nicely. We do have a nice large window, overhead adjustable air vents, overhead reading lights, numerous speakers, USB Type-C charging. We've also got cup holders back here, armrests, decent amount of legroom back here. And then, of course, over on this side is the exact same way. Cup holder, trinket tray, USB Type-C, speakers, all the stuff. And as stated before, it's a 50-50 split folding seat. All right, let's take a look at the second row seat now. As you can see, very nice accommodations back here. Real quick look at the door panel. Just like the front seat, soft touch vinyl, more of that gloss carbon look or graphite look. The second row seats are also heated and ventilated. You have your power window switch here, more of that mesh on the armrest, the Meridian speakers. You've also got rear window shades as well. And the seats are actually fully adjustable. They can adjust fore and aft and for seat back recline. And as I said before, they are heated and ventilated. And they're just really nice, comfortable seats. They don't have the mesh head restraints like the front seats do, but they are adjustable. And you also have these adjustable armrests here. And you can lower them or you can set them up. They have like a ratchet in them. And then overhead, of course, we have reading lights, overhead assist handles, positional air vents. We've also got our climate controls back here, so you can set your temperature here, fan speed back here. You can also select your mode, how you want it to go, turn on AC, or you can just turn it off. The rear seat passenger on the right hand side can also move the front passenger seat forward and move their seat back forward. USB Type-C charging on both of the backs of the seats. You've also got seat back mat pockets. You also have cup holders. This really nice illumination here, which opens up to reveal this really nice little table, and it actually can extend out a little bit, which is really nice. Or you can also open it, and you got some storage in here as well. And you can put it back into the console. Now this vehicle does not have the lounge package. If it did, the seats would actually look like what they have in the Carnival, where they can actually recline almost like Maybach seats. And that is probably the reason why they put those in that. But yeah, there you go. Alrighty, let's take a look at the rear luggage area. There's several ways you can open that. You can press and hold the button here on the driver's side instrument panel. There is also a membrane switch on the right of the camera. There's a membrane switch there. You can press that. You can also kick your foot underneath the bumper, or you can press and hold the button on the key fob. As shown before, I say before, it is a power opening liftgate. And here is the luggage area with the third row seats up in their upright positions. As you can see, even with the third row seats up, it is a decent amount of luggage space back here. It is taken up pretty much by a lot of it's taken up by this large pack here. What this large pack consists of, though, is your power charging cable. So you don't want to lose that for sure. Underneath, we have tire mobility inflation kit, all that kind of stuff underneath. Not a whole lot of storage though. And over here we have a 125 volt 15 amp household style AC outlet behind that cover. Second row left and right seat folders, and this here is your access point for your battery maintenance. Over on this side we do have the where you can actually program the height of your liftgate, and a 12 volt 180 watt power point here. Alright, if you want to fold the seats, the third row seats are easy to fold back here. You just press this, lower this, and they fold right flat with the load floor. And there is the luggage area with the third row seats folded. Now, what's really nice is that from back here, you're also able to fold the second row seats. You cannot lift them back up with these switches, but they only release them. But to fold the second row seats, you could do left and right just by pressing those buttons. And there is your cargo area with all the seats folded. As you can see, nice amount of storage space, nice load flat floor. Looks really good. And if you want to close the liftgate, just press this button here. Alrighty, opening the front trunk is very easy. One way you can do it, you could double press the button here on the driver's side instrument panel. That'll unlatch the trunk. Or you could double press the, or you can hold the button here on the key fob. That also unlatches it just like the button does. And by lifting here, as you can see, you can actually open the front trunk area. You don't see the electric motor up here. What you do have instead is maintenance access point. So you have your washer fluid here, coolant fluid here. I think this is probably headlight adjustment here. Nothing here. Just a small little cargo area. It does have a weather stripping on it, so it does seal it from the weather, but it can only hold about 45 pounds or 20 kilograms. And you do also have your battery access, your 12 volt battery access. And this little pouch here is actually a, we'll open it up. It is just a, it's for the charging. It is an additional, my goodness, I am all over the place today. The VL2 connector guide. or the connector. This fits nicely in there. And then you can store it back down here. Inside this little flap is the emergency release button for if you get trapped in here. And cabin air filter replacement and your brakes. All right, closing it. There's no automatic closing here. You close it just like you would a hood. Alrighty, that does conclude our in-depth walk-around look at the 2024 Kia EV9. If you made it this far in the video, congratulations. It is a long one. Anyway, I hope you found this video informative, and if you did, please comment down below. Also, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. Check out our Facebook page at facebook.com/neighborhoodcarreviews. Also, check out our Instagram at BrentoJ1. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.